Well, hello, everyone. We have missed you. For the 6 people that watch us, we are
Heck yeah.
finally back on video, but we took a couple of weeks off and we missed Epcot's birthday and a 1 in 100 year storm. So let's talk about it. Here we go.
This is another Disney podcast production.
Well, it has been longer than I wished to have gone without seeing your beautiful face.
I agree. It feels like it's been like a year since we not only did the podcast, but actually did it on video. So like you said,
Yes.
the 6 people that actually tune in every week could be like, hey, they're back.
I was like, let's take the summer off. It's now the first week of October and we're finally back to video. Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, you guys have had an eventful couple of weeks. 1 week I'm probably getting the dates wrong, but I'm just using this as an excuse anyway. You headed on down to Nolans for a wedding. Yes.
Yes, I did go to Nolans. That was fun.
Nice.
Nolans is not what I expected. I'm not sure that
dirty.
It is very dirty, and I'm not sure that I would just choose to go there for fun. Like if I had to go there for like work or vacate or a wedding like I went this time, yes. But after being there for 2 days, I think I've seen all I needed to see of New Orleans. You know, I ate a lot of food, drank a lot of beer.
Did you get any beignets?
I did have some beignets at Café du Monde.
Yeah, you did. Okay, so we are truly brothers from another mother. Weirdly, the cruise that we went on for our honeymoon was like one of the, like, we went all like the Western Caribbean and did all this kind of stuff, and then came up the Mississippi River and spent a day and a half in New Orleans. It was like kind of like the end of, so I was like, I've never had the draw to go, but I was like, oh, that'd be kind of fun to go check it out. Same camp, dude. Like, been there, seen it, didn't think it was great, have zero desire to go back. Now, culinary wise, I'm sure it is a phenomenal place to be. And I mean, the culture and the mystique and the mystere around it is really cool. But I don't like, I mean, I could see the draw, like if we went to like a national championship and it was New Orleans, and like, I mean, fun city to go have, like go see an event in, but like,
exactly.
I don't know. I'm with you. I don't know that I'd go back and say like, hey, honey, let's fly to New Orleans for the weekend. It wasn't my jam, but lots of cool history.
Yeah, cool history and very pretty. I mean, the wedding we went to, we took pictures downtown before the wedding, and then they did this really cool thing. I don't know if anybody's ever seen it or ever been there or been involved, but after the ceremony, there's this thing called the second line. So everybody leaves the ceremony, and there's a brass band outside, and you parade through the streets. The bride and groom dance with umbrellas or parasols down the street, and everybody walks behind them waving white handkerchiefs. So we walked around like this mile path through the city. People were coming out of all the bars, standing up on the balconies, like cheering and screaming. It was super cool. Like it was fun. It felt like we were in our own parade.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was fun. It was exhausting though, and it was 163 degrees.
Of course it was.
So that was super fun in a tux.
Yep. So you did that. So we tried to figure out a way to record, but I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
And then one of those, just random like 1 in 100 year storms kind of rolled through. And now I'm glad that overall, spoiler alert, you guys fared really well. But before we talk about like how it like affected Disney, how was it for you guys?
So this was really our first hurricane in Florida. You know, as we watched the weather reports and saw that the path was changing and it was heading more towards Orlando, it got kind of dicey. We have obviously a newborn. So like we were freaked out about not being having no power with a newborn. So we did the typical like tourist thing. We bought all the water. We got all this stuff and all these supplies, but actually by the time it got here, it wasn't terrible. It was windy, 50-ish mile-an-hour winds. We had a lot of flooding in Orlando. There's still places, even the turnpike here is still flooded, and it's a week later almost.
Yep.
So definitely a lot of flooding, but for the first hurricane, not terrible. We lost a couple pieces of our house, cosmetic stuff. One of our trees in the back broke, but other than that, we never lost power. We never lost air conditioning, which was awesome. We live in a newer part of town, behind the Magic Kingdom. So all of our utilities are underground, which helps.
That helps. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So how much
wasn't
rain did you guys officially get?
We got about 9 inches between, I think it started like Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, and then Thursday it ended. Norfolk International Airport got like 17 inches.
I know.
Yeah. So the further you went towards actual city of Orlando, I mean, they were doing water rescues over there. Yeah. There was all sorts of stuff. We were glued to the TV all night, just watching the coverage.
We were.
It was crazy, but thankfully we made it through with little to minimal damage.
I mean, it was unique in so many levels. Obviously scary. I mean, it's scary to think of the west coast of Sanibel and Fort Myers and just how like it. I mean, there's no better word than decimated those areas. I mean, it's horrific. Any way that you can support and help, I know that that community will desperately need it, as like we're finding out now just how many people didn't have flood insurance and just what that means when it comes to like your property and what you own and what insurance will cover. And I know you work in the insurance business, so I'm preaching to the choir.
Exactly.
But I definitely, one of the things that surprised me was how like it crossed obviously the panhandle of Florida, or not the pan, but like the middle of Florida,
the peninsula.
But then like how like I feel like the Daytona area was the second hardest hit in Florida, which is crazy because it was on the complete other side of the state. But anyway, like storms are wild, and of course it goes back out to sea and becomes a hurricane again and attacks South Carolina. So really bizarre, like 3 separate landfalls as a hurricane is just kind of unprecedented,
insane,
unheard of.
Yeah, St. Augustine had a lot of flooding. Daytona, New Smyrna Beach, they were all hit pretty hard. As
a NASCAR fan, which literally 2 of the people involved with this podcast are to an extent, that would be you and me. There was like some damage like in the turn at the Speedway. They don't have an event for multiple weeks, so I think they can fix it. And it's not like the track was physically damaged, but the banking is pretty steep at that track, and that hill that like holds it. It was like part of it was like a big chunk was missing, and I was like, oh dear, I don't think that would hold weight at 199 miles an hour.
No, probably.
Anyway, so let's transition to Disney on the Disney podcast.
now that you've listened to the Weather Channel podcast,
and have a great week. We'll see you next time. So overall, I think Disney World did fairly well. I saw lots of pictures online of people that were staying on property of like, basically it just was like trees down, small trees down, shrubs. Like it just looked like a hurricane came through. And I mean, it was just the pathways were littered, but I will say, at least from my rummaging around online, the biggest damage like at a parks was the freaking canopy was ripped off at Test Track.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw that got ripped off. And I was surprised. I mean, I saw a meme on Facebook after it came through, and it was like, Tron's canopy damaged by Hurricane Ian will take another 20 years to open. So I fully expected Tron's canopy to be damaged before Test Tracks, but it's amazing. It ripped the entire canopy off and threw it across Epcot.
Yep. But other than that, I haven't paid. I know today's October 3rd, right?
4th.
Okay. So as of yesterday, October 3rd, they were still, like it was hit or miss of whether you could get reservations anywhere for anything. But today, are we back to normal operating procedure?
Fort Wilderness, still not open.
Yes.
So campgrounds at Fort Wilderness, and I believe the bungalows at the Polynesian are still not open. There's no ETA really for Fort Wilderness. You've been there. I have been there. When we just get a summertime rainstorm, it floods. So I could imagine, there's some big trees there. The price of branches down, some flooding. So I don't know when they're going to open that again. Well, maybe mid-month is what we've heard. Yeah. I mean, I can't help but wonder. So they kicked everybody out before it got there, which is smart because obviously that's very low country, as it's almost like an island. It's on itself. And so that's why I think we really haven't seen much pictures or
anything out of there because no one was there. But I mean, I would guess if anywhere on property obtain like significant damage, I'm fearful of that is because it's like in a forest. I mean, that's plenty of trees and right against like it's kind of on a peninsula of water for sure. So I'm hopeful that it is all like cosmetic, meaning like trees, branches, bushes, whatever. Is I'm so hoping that reopens as scheduled, and that holds a fond memories of my early days at Disney, and then my old man days with the Palms.
Exactly. And it was super surreal because on Wednesday morning before the hurricane came, like I ran out and I went to go get gas, and there was, it was crazy. Like the storm's coming. Obviously, it's like snowstorms up north. People run to get gas. I don't know, like, are people plan on driving for hours like during the storm? Like, why do people need so much gas during a hurricane? But I went to the Speedway. If anybody's been to Magic Kingdom, as you exit the Magic Kingdom, there's a Speedway right on the right. I went over there because it's tourist area, not where the people who live in Florida would probably go. So there was no one there. It was great, but it was super surreal. They moved all of the camping trailers and travel trailers and everything from Fort Wilderness to the Magic Kingdom parking lot. So back in like, I guess it's the Aladdin and the Scar parking lot, the whole thing was full of every trailer from Fort Wilderness. So it was kind of surreal to just see everyone parked there, with no one around. So it was it was eerie. It reminded me of the pandemic days, everything shut down, no one on the roads around Disney. It was kind of eerie to traverse on Wednesday morning.
Pretty wild. But overall, Central Florida spared in comparison. I will say it that way. Because certainly there's property damage and people hurting all over the state of Florida, and of course some of South and North Carolina as well. So prayers to those fine humans as they rediscover and hopefully find some sense of normalcy over the coming months. Because wow, I mean, I don't even know. There's no even sense to saying it. It's just wow, like unbelievable.
100%.
What a monster. Okay. News and Brews or Brews and News. I still don't know what it's actually called.
News and Brews. The funny thing is I forgot that we were actually being on video. Usually we can like lie about the fact that we're actually have a brew, and we can just tell people I'm drinking today. So I am drinking an Air Light, if you will. What do you have? You have Mackenzie's.
I have a Mackenzie's Pumpkin Jack. Ooh. So I'm still in the pumpkin season. I'm not a coffee latte kind of dude. So the only way that I consume pumpkin is like in alcohol, and so this cider tastes literally like candy. And so I'm enjoying it. I will have one for you, my friend.
Please do. I'll have one when I go downstairs. I just forgot. I'm old.
I need to put some like cinnamon
bits.
Cinnamon moonshine in it. Kick it up a notch. Okay. Enjoy your Air Light.
Thank you.
I'm going to start off with some old news. I don't know how I missed this, but it's still relevant in the season that we're in. So, because we were there October 1st for the 50th, which, TV timeout. I have reached kind of unprecedented times in recent years for Dave. We have now surpassed as of, like today will be the last day that we were there a year ago. Yeah. And I have not been back since. So I am now officially, or I guess tomorrow when I wake up, I will officially not been at Disney in a year, which Brandon knows me. That is unheard
of. That's a long time. That's a long time. And we were
anywhere from 3 to 5 times a year for me, I think.
Yeah. We were looking at those pictures the other day because they pop up on Time Hop. And we were like, man, I cannot believe that it's been a year since, the 50th at Magic Kingdom. And, really, it doesn't feel like the 50th at all. But it is what it is. It was a year ago. So, hey,
breaking news. Disney World's 50th anniversary is going on.
Please come back.
A year and 4 days later. Okay. But the classic pumpkin lanterns are back on Main Street. Like,
thank you.
Before was it the carriage? Is that what it was?
Cinderella's carriage. Cinderella carriage? The carriage ones are still around the hub. So
lame.
if you were one of the people who liked the Cinderella's carriage pumpkins, congratulations. We didn't. There's
Please
still
stop listening to our show.
Exactly. There are a couple of Cinderella pumpkin carriages around the hub, but the rest of them are back to the good old Mickey pumpkin face up and down Main Street. So super exciting.
Man, classic.
They are. That's like,
gotta love them.
You know, nothing reminds you of Halloween in August more than those pumpkin faces on Main Street.
When it's 113 degrees in the shade. Hey, nothing says autumn like that.
Exactly. It feels like autumn here this week. I think right now it's 73 degrees.
What?
Yeah.
Well, it was 55 today.
The hurricane blew through and took like all the heat, all the humidity. It's been beautiful since the hurricane blew through. So we're getting into the hard fall.
We got 4 or 5 inches of rain from Ian, and 3 days later, we are in the middle of a nor'easter. So that's fun.
That sounds fantastic.
But it will be in the mid 70s tomorrow, and the sun will come out for the first time since, I don't know, August. It seems like between Ian and this nor'easter, I don't remember the last time the sun shined.
Oh, nice.
So we will come out of our cave and enjoy a little bit more of warmer weather before the fall weather gets here.
I like it.
What do you got news-wise?
So news-wise, and this just came out today, and this is my second favorite time. Well, actually, it probably might be my favorite time at Walt Disney World, and that's the Christmas season. So today, Disney announced its holiday offerings at Disney World for all the parks. So just to quickly run it down, obviously, they're bringing back Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, and we'll talk about that a little bit here in a minute. Candlelight Processionals coming back to Epcot, which is awesome. If you haven't seen it or haven't been here during the holiday season, definitely try to get to see it. The easiest way is to book a dinner package that guarantees you reserved seating. But they announced, and I'm super excited about this, there's some new people, new narrators coming this year. Gloria Estefan, Damon John, who's on Shark Tank, and Josh Gad's actually going to be here this year.
Oh, so nice.
That is super awesome. I'm sure no one will want to go see him do that. And then you have obviously the stalwarts, Neil Patrick Harris, Whoopi Goldberg, Marie Osmond, and Angela Bassett. So, hey, the Enchantment ladies coming to read the Christmas story. But I'm super excited about that. They're going to bring back the holiday kitchens to the Festival of the Holidays. There's going to be the holiday cookie stroll is coming back. And Santa's actually moving to Epcot this year, so that's kind of fun.
Whoa!
Yeah, he's going to be in the Odyssey, so the thing in the middle of the lake between Test Track and Mexico is where Santa is going to be. So I'm stoked about Christmas time. That's my favorite time of year. So I was glad to see some new announcements today with some new offerings.
Yeah. And I mean, speaking of Mickey's Not So Scary, talk about off with a bang. If you were wondering if people missed that, because they obviously it went away during COVID times, and then it came back last year in a truncated form. I don't even know what definitely wasn't Mickey's Not So Scary, but they did something to be able to have a party and charge extra money. But if you're wondering if people missed it, ticket sales launched and went on sale, and the first 3 parties are sold out. So I think people are excited. Now I will say, like, a big chunk of that, of course, is all of the bloggers kind of have to come and cover it, right? And so that's typically, like in years past, the first night would sell out, right? It's like that with the Halloween party, same thing with the Christmas party. But for boom back to back party nights sold out, I think that speaks a little bit about the excitement that people are and have for the nostalgia of what the party used to be. It now sounds weird to say back in the day, but gosh, COVID's been here so long, it feels like back in the day.
Yeah, exactly. And this just continues to prove the point that people are still flocking to Walt Disney World.
Oh gosh,
people are still, no matter what Disney does, people will pay for it. People make a party, make it $250 a head, it sells out. Every Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party sold out. I mean, every day you see people on Facebook and you see people on the blogs asking if people have tickets, if they could sell them. Right. So, I mean, no matter what Disney does, it's going to sell out. Perfect example of that is now that we've seen that Mickey's Not So Scary, and now Very Merry Christmas is starting to sell out. Disney announced that starting next year, they're bringing back the after hours parties. Now these were the great. I would go to those over a Halloween or Christmas party any day.
Agreed.
Because they definitely limit attendance way more. And then obviously, at the parties, you get candy and cookies for free. But at these, you got your ice cream, your sodas, your snack stuff is all included. So it truly does feel like the parties used to feel. And it's actually, they'll probably raise it this year, but it used to be $99, which you can't beat. It was for, from like 8 to 12, maybe 9 to 12. But it was great. So I'm happy they're bringing them back, and I'm going to try to do one of those if I can.
As long as they limit it to the numbers that they had before, it was like you were there with 9 people in the park. They were incredible. So now what's the advantage of that? Because people are like, yeah, but you say don't go to a party, go to that. Well, is it going to be holiday themed? No, not really. Not at all, especially if they're not doing it during a holiday time. There won't even be decorations. But the advantage is because of the way they limit the people in the park, that is where you can go and ride everything. There is literally I don't think we've gone to an after hours event, and I know we've talked about this, to where we waited in line, especially at Magic Kingdom. The only thing we waited in line for was Mine Train, and it was like a car ride. Hey, this car, we walk up and the car in front of us is full, and then you get on. Everything else was a walk-on. I've said it many times. You go to the far-reaching corners of those parks, you and your party could be the only people back there because either somebody else is in line or something or you'll pass a handful of people. But yeah, it's truly like you have the place to yourself, and that's the advantage to go. With park numbers and capacity being limited, and either way, and just how many people are flocking to the parks, it is a tremendous opportunity to plow through some attractions for sure.
Exactly. And it's also a great opportunity if you want to get those pictures that you would never, ever get, during a Halloween or Christmas party or even a normal day at the park. I remember last time we went, we all took pictures in front of the castle, and we were the only people in front of the castle. From the partner statue to the stage at the front of the castle, there were 0 people. So you can get your Main Street picture. Like, they're not going to rush you out at 12 o'clock. 100%. You can hang on Main Street. You can be the only person on Main Street. So it's a great opportunity to get photos. I know you're a huge photographer, and so you use that opportunity to get sweet shots of like the riverboat and things like that, where that doesn't have anyone in it. So I would definitely recommend it. Like I said, they used to be $99. I can imagine they're going to go up to at least $150 now. Probably. But take advantage of, if you're going to be in Disney during that time, take advantage of the after hours. You can still enter the park early. Like, if these are from 9 to 12, you can probably go in, I think it's 7. So you'll still get 5 hours in the park, which is plenty of time to do everything. So
they do pretty well.
I was stoked they're bringing them back.
I'm thinking back to some, I think it's, is it popcorn that's free?
Yeah, I think it's popcorn.
Okay, popcorn. Like any of the ice cream carts you go to, and then of course any bottled soda. So if you are lucky enough to go with Matthew, he will bring back 9 Diet Cokes from that.
Just bring book bags. You'll get your money back in soda.
Oh man, I'll never forget that. He's like, "Look how many I got." I'm like, "You carried that around all night?" He was like, "Dude, they're free." I'm like, "It's Diet Coke."
Dude, they're free. I paid $100 to get in, and I got 10 sodas.
I got my money's worth. You certainly did.
You got your $10 sodas.
Hey, do you remember way back at the beginning of the 50th, they talked about these beacons of light and how excited we were?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Fun fact, the Tree of Life has a beacon, is considered a beacon of light. Unfortunately, it may have happened 3 or 4 times because they were closing so early during the pandemic and limited park time. And now that finally the light is changing and it's getting darker earlier, they're bringing back the Tree of Life beacons of light. Now, I say this jokingly, but I'm like, one of the best things that they did at Animal Kingdom was to turn that into a park that was so worthwhile going after 5 and 6 p.m. like it's traditionally been opening to. Well, traditionally compared to when it opened 20 plus years ago. And then like they stopped having it open. I'm sure it was a staffing issue. I'm sure it was
Profitability.
Yeah, that and COVID related, all the things. But like one of the things that's like Animal Kingdom is way cooler at night. And obviously, duh. I mean, you've got Pandora. I mean, like
Which was designed to be enjoyed at night.
right. And
So
so
let's close
finally,
the
Beacons of Light are returning in a few weeks because
Yes.
it's getting darker earlier. And then, of course, we'll have our time change the first week in November. Anyway, I'm stoked about that because I don't even know if I saw a video of what that Beacons of Light looked like.
No.
And yeah, way to go, Disney. But I feel like this was low hanging fruit. You could have just stayed open later.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's just, I have a friend who works in Animal Kingdom, and it's just people just don't go to Animal Kingdom enough at night in order to make it worthwhile. Right. I mean, one of the main draws, obviously, in Animal Kingdom is the safari. So once it's dark, like you can't do that anymore. So you have Pandora, which was designed to be awesome, amazing, beautiful at night. I wish they could find a way to maybe just keep that part of the park open. For guests, just don't let people, when you walk up to the tree, don't let people turn right. Make them all go to Pandora. I just wish they'd leave that part open, but I am stoked about it. I did watch a little bit of the video on Blog Mickey today, so I have not seen that one in person. So I'm going to try to get to Animal Kingdom and check it out once it gets dark.
I think it's going to be great. Any other news from your end on News and Brews, Mr. Airlight?
No, Mr. Airlight, I'm very full of air, so I'm going to take a break from news and move on. But no, exciting things happening around Walt Disney. It's great that the hurricane didn't damage a lot of stuff, so things are returning to normal, and we're moving full scale into the holiday season.
Mm-hmm. Could have been bad. I mean, it was obviously, but could have been bad for theme park worlds. And remember, there's more than Walt Disney World in Central Florida, so it could have. A lot
of the other ones were
that tourist
pretty hard.
Trap.
I don't know if you saw. I don't know if you saw the video or pictures from Universal down the street, but they have a roller coaster there, obviously called the Hawk. Part of the Hawk goes down underwater through a tunnel in the lake. Well, the lake had so much water in it overflowed into the tunnel, so the track was actually underwater. So, yeah, it was pretty serious. So, yeah, just
gonna need a pump.
Got to remember that the Diz is not the only people here, but yeah, we definitely got off easy.
SeaWorld would have been fine. They all swim.
Yeah, they all
kidding. I'm kidding.
Whales were in the streets. It was amazing.
New attraction, SeaWorld in all parts of Central Florida. News at 11. Okay.
Attraction, SeaWorld just becomes the sea.
The sea in Central Florida. Okay, so obviously, I don't want to play the ranking game, but I know for me personally, I won't speak for Brandon, Epcot teeters back and forth of being my favorite Disney park that I've been to in the world. So that includes over on the West Coast, that includes Disneyland Paris, and of course all of Walt Disney World. I kind of go back and forth between Magic Kingdom and Epcot, but it is very high on the list. I'd almost call it 1B. Not even 2.
Yeah.
So huge fan. We were there for the 35th anniversary. That was really fun. And so just a few days ago, 4 days ago, they celebrated their 40th. Now, 40 is a weird number. As a joke, don't they say 40 is the new 30? But that's a human thing. But this one was tough. And so Disney timing is what it is, right? And it kind of coincides during the middle of their 50th anniversary celebration, which is obviously a big deal because that was the opening park in Central Florida for Walt Disney. But it's kind of it kind of gets the shaft. And I don't mean that in a negative way. Obviously their focus and their draw right now is the 50th, which is, I don't know what we got, about 4, 5, 6 months left of that. It's
4, 5, 6, 8, 10 months, something like that left.
You're right. It ends in 2027. But let's talk about it. So they celebrated their 40th.
Yes.
They've, obviously the transition of Epcot was scheduled to have been done for the 50th and is almost done for their 40th. So, let's talk about what that day looked like. So, I mean, we can start with you if you're watching. I'll just bring you up on screen. You didn't get to go, but you had a coworker bring you that awesome Epcot 40th commemorative poster.
Yeah,
so they were handing those out.
They were,
as
and they also
exited.
they had a special D23 event as well. You got to go into the park, and I think 7:30. He wasn't too excited about it. He went, and that's where he was able to secure that, and also the map, the commemorative map that's there, what they also gave on the 50th anniversary of Magic Kingdom. But it was a D23 event. You could go in at 7:30. There was like a continental breakfast, and then you just got to go out and experience the park. So just a little something fun for D23 members. You signed up for it. I think it was like $30, but that's kind of how the day started for some people. And then there was a lot of people waiting out front and excitement there for the regular opening of the park.
Yeah. Super cool day. Obviously tons of merch. We'll talk a little bit about that. It kind of kicked off the day with a ceremony kind of honoring the 40 years of Epcot, and it was at the American Gardens Theater. So it featured musical acts from the Mariachi Cobre, and the Voices of Liberty, unbelievable, as well as there was some really cool archival video from Walt Disney as he was kind of talking about and dreamed up of what Epcot was, experimental prototype community of tomorrow. You're welcome. And it also briefly acknowledged, which is cool, I didn't even think about this, like some cast members that have been working there for 40 years, right? So that's since day one, there's actually still people working there. So I thought that was pretty cool. Again, low-hanging fruit, yay, pomp and circumstance. I mean, again, like it wasn't bad. I just wish it was more of a big deal because I'm a huge fan of Epcot and excited for when that transformation gets done. So we talked about the commemorative poster and the map. The poster is cool. It's like embossed, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like the white stuff is like raised, and it's it has like almost a shimmer to it. If you would, like if you lay it down, it's like rainbowy. So it's very cool. I'm going to put it in a frame. Something cool to have, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I want to talk about the merch because that's obviously where Brandon and I are the ladies when it comes to all the merch that you can buy for anything like special or fancy. Okay, so all right, majority of it for me was you know, you had your Spirit jersey. Like here are two things that Disney does that challenges me. There we go. That was a PC way of saying
I like it. That was a PC way.
Disney loves to date everything.
Yes.
Everything. I think I've talked about this before. My favorite shirt that I've ever bought from Disney was from a Halloween party. And the year I bought it, do you know why I bought it? It didn't have a freaking date on it because nobody wants to see your Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party from 2014 shirt. Like, I don't need the date on it. I want to commemorate the time that, we went to the party. Now I can wear it every Halloween or every October. And so I should have bought 37 of them. So they dated them. Now this I get because we are talking about the 40th anniversary. So I get it. Right. But the other thing that they do is, Brandon, I don't know how good you are when it comes to this type of clothing, but I can be in a bubble in a locked room that is armed. And if I wear anything white, I will get ketchup on it.
Agreed. Yeah. 100%.
All of the merch was white.
All of it. Yeah. I mean, the Passover shirt was awesome, but it was white. Like,
yes.
Who wears that? Like,
yeah. I just, I'm a dude, I sweat, and I get sweat rings and I eat. And so things just live right here, like on my midsection well, of course it's in my midsection, but you know, it lands on my shelf. It's all, and I'm like, dang it. So I just don't buy it, you know? And then I love the fact that oh, cool. Let's sell a white hat in a town where 9 months out of the year it's in triple digits. Cool. Now they did have a cool hoodie, which was blue, and they did have a red shirt, which I liked. It was my favorite one. It had the Epcot symbol on the front and 40th.
Yes.
And then a thing, it had all the new and updated logos, which were really, retro throwback logos of all the different things at Epcot. But my favorite thing, and what stinks, is because I love the Apple Watch, is they had a Citizen watch with the Epcot logo in it that was sick. I don't know how much it was, but I've always been kind of a watch guy, and so like that was like my favorite thing, which 7 people will buy. So but they had water bottles and, like I said, Spirit jerseys and jackets and everything you can collect. But I would say probably the coolest keepsakes, in my opinion, is what you got, which is the commemorative map and the poster, which is exactly what they did at Magic Kingdom on the 50th. So
yeah, exactly. And they had
it in a nutshell.
And Disney is like the king of like hyping people up for merchandise, right? So like when the park opened, by far the longest line was for the merchandise. And I mean, people were waiting 4 hours to go into the creation shops to get this stuff that Disney said was day of. Like, you could only get this the day of. Like, there was a pin there that said October 1st, like a trading pin that they said this is only going to be out today. Well, I looked this morning, someone posted in the creation shop, every piece of merchandise that was there on October 1st was there today.
Of course.
Pins, shirts, Loungefly backpacks. So Disney, and if you remember back to the 50th, remember those crazy Starbucks tumblers that people were like punching each other for and tackling people and knocking cast members over? That's the kind of frenzy that Disney creates and makes you think that you need this merchandise. So the same thing happened with Epcot 40. I wish it would have been a bigger thing. Like you said, Epcot's one of my favorite parks. It might be close. Like, I love Epcot simply for the ease of getting into it over Magic Kingdom. But once it's done, it's going to be awesome. But yeah, I wish they would have made a bigger deal of this. The timing kind of sucked because there was a hurricane. But I felt I felt like maybe at the beginning of the 50th, we heard like, hey, next year we're celebrating the 40th at Epcot. But then I don't feel like I heard anything leading up to
and you're
the
there.
Day. I'm here. Like, I've been to Epcot a couple times. There was no like signs. There was no like, this poster, like that could have been up all year, like to promote like this day is coming. I just felt like it was under advertised. Diehard Disney fans are going to know, but I don't know what's up with Disney and their not celebrating their big moments. I mean, they remember Mickey's 90th birthday? Like, that's a random year too, but like that was like everything. They had outfits and pins, and like, that's not the 100th, that's not the 50th. So like, why is 90 better than 40? That's better than 50. Like, I'm very confused.
And it was on everything. We bought like Mickey pillows from Target, and there was like 90th birthday, something like it's just a Mickey pillow.
I guess no other mouse lived to age 90. I'm very confused.
I will say they did, pun intended, knock it out of the park at the end of the day with, and if you have not seen this, like, you should go look this up on YouTube. It's definitely on Blog Mickey, the entire thing. They did on Spaceship Earth, which is their beacon of light, obviously. They did the We Go On show. All the feels. Feels. There was some music. There was music from lots of things, but obviously what stood out to me is Illumination, because that's what it's called, right? It's been so long. Is it Illuminations?
Illuminations, Reflections of Earth.
And then there was some vintage kind of Walt Disney voiceover going on, and it was just dope.
Yeah, it was amazing. I think they're still playing it. I think it plays once a night still at the end of the night. So if you are here and listening, go check it out, because it's good. I saw somebody on TikTok was like, everyone loved that. Like, everyone loves the feels that gets. They should find a way for the new Epcot show to get that beacon of magic in the middle of the Showcase Lagoon and do that, but add fireworks. Like, how cool would that be?
Fun fact. I know a show that was there for a long time that had this circular floating rig that could probably easily be transformed on the outside to mimic a smaller version of the beacon of light. Just saying. Like, I know a guy. Jeez. Oh, wait, you know what? we have to go back to one last news thing because it's Epcot related,
Okay.
and I don't think we talked about it. Did we cover on the D23 that not only is Harmonious going away, but it's being replaced with Epcot Forever? Did we talk about that?
I don't think so.
we did.
I think you and I talked about that separately offline.
Oh my gosh. Like how many times have we joked, A, about how horrible that show is, but B, how horrible that name is. And look, wrong again, because it clearly is going to last forever because it's coming back. I cannot, like, you're going to replace Harmonious with that while you transition. I have so many questions. Like, that is like, leave Harmonious while you, this is not, this is not a step forward. But
it will come out. It'll be on the programs. It'll say Epcot Forever, parentheses, we told you so. Like
forever.
Forever. Yeah, I mean, obviously there has to be some sort of filler between Harmonious and whatever new show. And we know the speed at which Disney puts things out. So I fully anticipate that if Harmonious ends at the end of March and April 1st, we have to get, you got to get those big ugly things out of the middle of the lagoon because there's jet skis that probably could run into them. Yeah, you have to have a filler, and I don't imagine we'll have a new show at Epcot until probably the new year. So you're going to get a little bit more of Epcot forever-ish. Forever-ish. And I had to laugh. A guy who just started working with us in our office, we were kind of talking about nighttime spectaculars. His wife's a huge Disney fan. His daughter is one of the PhotoPass photographers, and her name is Ariel, which is awesome. Like, that totally fits. But he was like, man, my favorite show is that Epcot Forever. I wish they'd bring that back. And I had to start laughing. I just said, did you, Paul, did you really just say that your favorite show is Epcot Forever? Have you not seen anything else at Epcot ever? Yeah. So we just got into a fun, spirited discussion. And he said, my favorite part's the jet skis with the kites. And I just went,
well, fun fact, you could have seen all kinds of daytime fun at Animal Kingdom with some jet skis and some kites.
Exactly.
So that tells me that that's also his second favorite. It's his first daytime attraction in water, and then Epcot Forever. Yeah. We could not be Facebook friends.
I mean, it's hard enough for you and I to be real friends after your favorite show was Rivers of Light. So, I mean,
come on, it was good.
If I can be friends with you because you love that, then you could be friends with Paul because he likes Epcot Forever.
Okay, Paul. But we can't be Facebook friends. I can't do it.
Nope. Look, we can be friends, but I'll just like unfollow you so it still shows that we're friends, but I don't see any of your stuff.
Why are you peering into my life? That's literally what I do with 90% of the people on Facebook.
Yep.
I also can't remember the last time I posted on Facebook, so that's probably a win. That's a win. I'm definitely going.
You just like things and stuff.
I know. I'm so weird.
You're a weird old guy.
I'm a boomer. I'm definitely a boomer. Okay. Man, it was good to be back. Good show. Excited to see what the rest of 2022 holds. Excited to, like you said, get into some Christmas season where let me share a fun fact with you. So I met some new friends when I went to they had just got back from the mountains in Tennessee, like Gatlinburg area. And what's really cool is they had 2 tickets to Dollywood that they weren't able to use, and we're going for Thanksgiving. So they gave us the tickets, which that's super cool. So now we can basically go for half price because we don't have to pay for the kids or for us, whatever. But this is pretty wild. So, and this relates to Disney. Let me talk about how this relates to Disney. Brandon, can you answer this question for me? When we go from normal Disney day to Halloween, or from Halloween to Christmas, how does that happen? Is it like how quick what does that look like?
Well, they have a holiday services team here at Walt Disney World. So generally the main decorations between normal August Day and Halloween take place overnight. Craft service, holiday services. There was a great show. I think it was on Disney Plus, maybe, that shows that behind the scenes of like that whole crew that comes out. There's like 3 shifts. The first shift gets it ready at the holiday services building. Second shift loads it all on trucks. Third shift's at the park, does all that. And then, it takes a week or so to get everything fully out. Same with Christmas. October 31st, we're full Halloween. November 1st, there's Christmas trees everywhere. So that is how it happens at Disney with holiday services.
Yeah. So basically what you're telling me is, I don't know what day it was this year, but like August 15th, it was summer at Walt Disney World. August 16th, especially Magic Kingdom, it was Halloween. And then October 31st, it's Halloween, and November 1st, it's Christmas at Magic Kingdom, right?
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
There's no it's no oh, well, like now I know like throughout property, it's a big property. It takes a little while for all of this decorations to kind of fold over, especially when it comes to resorts and stuff. But interesting fact, they were there. And this was September-ish or late August. I can't remember when it was. So they got these free tickets and they had 2 days left. And so they drove up to Dollywood and they were like, got there kind of early. And they were like, oh man, it's really empty today. No one's here. So they were super excited, parked, got up, walked to the gate, and they get up front and they're like, yeah, sorry, we're closed. We're doing our holiday changeover to fall. And I was like, what? And she was like, oh, that's not the whole story. I was like, there's more. And she was like, well, I knew we would be okay. We would just come back tomorrow. It was 2 days that they were closed to do the changeover. One park. My thing is, I'm all like, what? You literally like, you what? Like, I mean, you just stay open. Like, you have your craft services team do it at night, and if it's part of it's up, great. And the next night, part of it more. But I couldn't believe they just closed for days. They just closed for days. Like, sorry, we're not open. We have to do the transition.
Sorry, folks, we're closed. The moose outside should have told you.
That was really funny to me. I don't know. The story wasn't as cool when I told it, but in my mind,
it makes sense. That tells you the magic of Disney, right? And if there's any kids, if there's any kids listening to this, the parks change over by Disney pixie dust magic. There's no people that 100%. Do it. It happens overnight by itself. But yeah, that
craft
just shows
services is a fancy name for magic.
Exactly. And so that just shows you the magic of Disney and the illusion that they want to continue to create, right? They don't want somebody who's there from October 31st to November 1st to have any different of an experience than somebody there who's on November 7th. So that's just right. That's part of the reason we love Disney. That's why we love the magic. That's why people flock here, is that, could you imagine like Disney World just said, hey, we're shutting down for a week to decorate the parks for Christmas. Like, could you imagine that happening? That's just preposterous to even think of. So it is kind of interesting to hear that other parks do that. And we used to go to Busch Gardens all the time. I don't know that they don't shut down when they decorate for Christmas. They're open. So.
Well, I guess they go back. They go to weekends. So I guess during the week they do have time. Like, so
that's true. I forget.
But yeah, Busch Gardens in Waynesburg is now a year-round park. It's not year-round during the week, but like it is cool that now that my pass works like all the time. Yeah, so it's kind of cool. They'll do a food and wine thing. They'll do something in March. They'll do I can't even think of them all. And then of course they do right now is Howl of Scream, and then they'll do Christmas Town. Is that what they call it? Christmas Town. Yeah, Christmas Town's always my favorite. I think Micaiah and I are going to go camp out there and go for a day. So we're excited. Anyway, yeah, hey, what's the win? The Daniels get 2 free passes for when they go. I'm excited about that.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, all right, man. This was great. Yeah. We'll have to find something fun to talk about next week. Yeah. I don't even know what's happening.
People out there, we're going to see if we can also bring some of our favorite guests back to the show.
Yes.
There's plenty of people that we'd love to talk to, and we haven't talked to them forever. So
that's right.
You may see some special guests here between now and the end of the year.
I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, Brandon, good to see you. Glad you guys
see you, buddy.
Weathered the storm. Sorry.
We did weather the storm. That's a great weatherman joke. That's good.
Yeah. But let's see which one is right. Yes. Right. I'm still 12 at heart. Okay. Until next time, because I don't want to say next week because who knows what'll happen.
Who knows when we're coming back.
Till December 2nd. Bicycle.
Peace.